clip 117, brackets with surds 2. So this is the second one on the clips involving surds with brackets. So before we move on, we just need to look at the key rules that we did in 116 and 115 and the ones before. So first one, root 7 times root 7 is 7. When we've got a number in front, then you do the surds first, so that's 2. And then you've got 2 in front, and we know that's a little time sign. So that'll be 2 times 2, which is 4. And then the third one, what if we had 5 root 3 times 2 root 2? Well, 5 times 2 you start with is 10, and then root 3 times root 2 is root 6. Okay, so let's have a go at brackets. Now, from experience, the main issue people find with these is negative signs, and then that affects the cancelling at the end. So let's have a go at the first one. So remember, double brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like if you had algebraic brackets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get 4 terms. This term you haven't got letters, you've got roots. So 1 times 1 is 1. Second one, 1 times minus root 5. Well, that's just 1 minus root 5, or just minus root 5. Third one, root 5 times 1. Remember, that's positive. The negative is on this one, so you don't need to include it there. So root 5 times 1 is plus root 5. And then root 5 times minus root 5. Well, if it was root 5 times root 5, we know from over here that would be just 5. But it's root 5 times minus root 5, which is minus 5. So then simplify. Well, minus root 5 plus root 5 means these ones disappear. And then 1 minus 5. Well, 1 minus 5 is minus 4. So that's the final answer. Next one. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times minus root 3 is minus 3 root 3. Root 3 times 3 is 3 root 3, and it's positive. And then root 3 times root 3 is 3. But then it's plus and a minus, which makes it minus. So again, there's a pattern in these. Hopefully you'll see the pattern by the time we've done these 4 questions. Root 3, minus 3 root 3 plus 3 root 3, that disappears. And then 9 take away 3 is 6. Again, final answer. Next one. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 root 2 is 2 root 2. Minus 2 root 2 times 1 is minus 2 root 2. And then minus 2 root 2 times plus 2 root 2. Right, I'm going to write this one out. Minus 2 root 2 times 2 root 2. So, do the numbers first. Minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. And then root 2 times root 2 is 2. So that becomes a 2. So you've got 1 plus 2 root 2 minus 2 root 2, and then minus, and that becomes 8. So they disappear because that's plus, that's minus, and they're the same term, just like the other two. And then you've got 1 take away 8, which is minus 7. And last one, this is the most complicated one, but it's just as following the same rules. The key thing is this. So, first one. I'm going to write each one of these out, I think. So, 3 root 5 times 3 root 5. Well, 3 3s are 9. Root 5 times root 5 is 5. That's left with 45. Next one. 3 root 5 times minus 7 root 2. 3 times minus 7 is minus 21. Root 5 times root 2, we know that from up here, we did this one here. Root 5 times root 2 is root 10. Third one, 7 root 2 times by 3 root 5 is 21 root 10. And the last one, 7 root 2 times minus 7 root 2. 7 times minus 7 is minus 49. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. So that one's 98, minus 98. So, what do you spot? Well, they're the 4 terms you've got to deal with. Those two middle ones, one's positive, one's negative, so they cancel out. And you're left with 45 minus 98. Well, 45 minus 98 will be 3. So take 45 off, we get to 0. So if we do 98 take away 45, so 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, that's 53. So it's minus 53. Okay, that is probably, apart from the next stuff which is coming next week, the most difficult part on surds. Can you spot, now we've done those few questions, if you've got something that looks like this, and then one small change that looks like this. So I'm going to put down, if we said, do this in a different colour, x minus 5 times x plus 5. Can you remember what you would get if you multiply them out without doing the multiplication? Now, that is a difference of 2 squares, which will be x squared minus 25. Same as if I said x minus 9, x plus 9, you would get x squared minus 81. Now, can you see what's happening with these? These ones, the middle 2 terms disappear, so you haven't got an x value in the middle to make it a quadratic with 3 terms. So it's the same as this. These middle terms cancel out because one's minus, one's positive. And then in the end, you would get just a number because we're dealing with surds, and the surd bit will disappear. But it's linked to this difference of 2 squares. So you get just an answer of a number out at the end. Okay?